Having not done much with this right hand and arm for the past 6 weeks, 7 weeks, after my horrendous crash at East Kirby coming off my drag bike, decided that I had to start doing something to get some use back into it, as well as going to hospital for physiotherapy. So, having made some trophies for the National Sprint Association some years ago, and having this plinth left over, I thought I'd put it to some use by making a trophy for Straightliners this time for a change. And I've done a rough sketch there of Trevor Duckworth's three-wheeler, one of his three-wheelers, the one that's in the Pendine Museum. So rather than print off pictures, colour pictures and wasting ink, I did a rough sketch, and I'm working from memory. And from this sketch I've made a cardboard, come in handy Weetabix packets, of how best to fold the metal to represent this three-wheeler. It's not going to be an exact replica, but something just to represent it. So that's that. I've done some preliminary marking out and a bit of cutting on this piece of aluminium. Surprising how I was struggling to squeeze the tin snips. Usually do it one-handed, and I had to use two hands on some of the cuts. Anyway, I'm going to attempt to do a bit of folding on it and see how it works out. Might end up rubbish yet, don't know. So we'll move to the garage. That's the drawing. Again, in case you didn't see it properly the first time. Just a rough sketch really. Weetabix packet. There's a little bit more cutting required on this. Try and get it as accurate as is possible. Goes up. These are right-handed tin snips. So that's gone up and that's gone down. I need to cut a bit out of there shortly to fit the aerofoil in. So now I've got to cut up there, but that would now send that up, put a twist in it. So that's what the left-handed snips are for. Well then, not as long as the other ones. They're not quite the same leverage. I did most of the aluminium work on Trevor's three-wheeler, the one that's in the museum at Pendine, but since then there's been a aerofoil spoiler, whatever you like to call it, added to the back. So I'm going to do the same on this. Much banging. Remember, I'm looking a bit awkward. I'm working with a barely healed broken shoulder blade from 6-7 weeks ago, and it's not fully there yet. sure this is fully tightened so it doesn't slip. A little bit of bashing to get it sharp there. I've got to fold it back the other way yet, and that's going to be the awkward bit. Doing a sharp fold, if you don't hit it up there, it'll end up a curve and be too big in this particular instance because it's only a small model. I never hit directly with a mallet, just put dents in it. I've used a piece of wood underneath, so I've got a nice flat base to work on when I'm doing something like this, instead of this knackered bench top. So that's fold one. The next fold I've got to do is going to be a bit of a sod. You can see that coming. I've got to fold that along that line back on itself using that. And this is as well as yesterday, having put a blow lamp on the metal just to help soften it a little bit, but it is still a struggle. And once I've got it bent to a right angle and got it over centre, I could put the thin strip back. I can tap it down with the mallet direct on it, not on wood. I could do it on wood, but it's difficult holding it with the other hand. It doesn't matter if I get a bit of a buckle or a wave in that, because that scrap metal is going to be cut off around these edges. I left extra metal on so I had leverage with which to bend it. So I've just got to hammer that flat down onto that. Well, that's one side partly done. That's got to fold up. That's going to be an interesting experience. And this other side's got to be done, so I shall make a start on that in a minute and then we'll come back to it. I don't know why, but my thumb is hurting. Remnants of the bang, I think. Thin that down a bit. That's scrap. Get it out of the way. Thin this down a bit. Rid of that. It makes it easier to manipulate when you've not got a great chunk of metal that's trying to bend up out of your way. So what I'll do here now, because this side's got to bend up, I'm using the left hand snips. Just to thin this down a bit. It's always worse, more difficult working with a small piece. It is with a big sheet. Big sheet I can put on the floor, put my foot on it and keep it still while I manipulate what I'm doing. I never take it to the end of the cutting bit wherever possible, because it will then put a notch, a distortion. If I let the cutters go straight through, I do it right at the end obviously. This is going to be folded up and an arch done. I've already bent that up. I mean, the engine is positioned in this vehicle in that place, but I'm not going to attempt to replicate an engine or put a model engine in there. It would be totally wrong. So I'm going to just shape this up and down the other side, paint it black probably, that bit. The amount of junk on this bench now, just to do this little job, just accumulates. Shift it at the end of the day, it's back again the next day, just leave it out. Do another clamp on the end of that. I'm running out of G-clamps. So I've got this clamped to the wood and the wood clamped to the bench. Tough stuff this, even though it's ordinary 16s gauge aluminium. See, hopefully I'm in camera range here. And they're going to bend. Not going to do it right now until I've selected some suitable wheels or something to use as wheels. But you can see how that is going to be. That's a bit too much there. And as you bend it, and you bend it back, this sort of aluminium, it self-hardens. So the more you bend it, the harder it is to bend. So try and minimise the number of times you need to bend it. That's going to be bent down. A lot of the marks obviously will have to be rubbed out. Some of them won't be seen. I cut those two pieces out there because the theory is I might need to cut a bit more. I'm going to mount the airfoil that I've not made yet into those slots, which will come down underneath here somewhere, and I can mount the little axle for the wheels when I've decided how I'm going to do it.